Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough. We have finally made contact with 3 other species and are in the process of spying on one of them. We don't have enough envoys currently to spy on all of them. And we have subjugated a handful of primitive civilizations, so we have a lot of development we're having to do, which is why we're not being aggressive with expansion. We need to get our economy under control, get our fleets built up, and then we will proceed to subjugate these 3 lesser empires. Now, my first priority, I'm going to build up my alloys to get some defense platforms built here. I can queue up another building, I think. I can go ahead and queue up the comm jammer if I want. Yeah, I think I will. Queue up a comm jammer so that if they do attack me here, it slows them down and reduces their chance of disengagement, so I have a better chance of destroying their ships when I meet them. My current fleet, I am currently at full naval capacity. This one has been fully reinforced. So our alloys at this point will be saved up to add defense platforms to the most likely system to get attacked. You know, I forgot to tell them only grow humans when I shifted a oxen analytor over here, but actually I think I am going to allow them to freely grow. That cuts out the 10% penalty for growth, and I can shift these spare oxen analytors over to other places where they would be more effective. So I don't mind shifting a human to a clerk to get an additional 1 as miner, because currently the way we have them, they make far better miners. Well, not far better, but better by a small amount. Instead of needing consumer goods, they need a little bit extra food, but they produce a little bit more minerals for us. Now, they will be far better on a planet where we don't have 100% habitability, such as Flaxington. Flaxington, we're producing 5.8 because we have 90% habitability. Where they have 90% habitability, they produce 6.9. So we need to get 1 over here to start filling up the miner slots, I think. Yeah, we're about 3 months away from getting our Hollow Theater built. That's when I will shift them over here. In the meantime, I really want to up my minerals, so I'm kind of debating adding another mining district here. Let's see. I've got room for growth here. This planet, I've got room for growth because the humans can displace the slaves down here and make them servants, which will just end up boosting my amenities. So, no real need to do anything there. And I think these guys actually will produce better resources because of the habitability. Our humans only have 70% habitability here. We'll have to see when our next human grows. I may go back to producing these guys and shift them to other worlds to be clerks or just servants to boost amenities. They can also work as entertainers, but they won't produce as much unity as my humans do on non-jungle worlds or tropical worlds. Yeah, we are building a stronghold here. This planet could use some development. I'll wait until this human is about to grow before I build another building here. Right, I've got a huge amount of surplus amenities here. I could build something to get these people working jobs rather than just being servants. But I want to focus on minerals before I start focusing on things like generators and stuff like that. So yes, I think right after Flaxington finishes its Hollow Theaters, it's going to go into a mining district. That will allow me to have more room for growth, and I can shift a slave over here to start breeding and filling up the miner slots and be able to start shifting the humans up into more specialist jobs. Now, to get our defense platforms, we're going to need about 250 alloys apiece, so it's going to take a little bit of time. We can have 7 of them. I can go ahead and see what I want. I have 5 different designs. I know I want a couple of hangars. So that'll leave me with 5 more defense platforms. I probably want a couple of missiles. That leaves me with 3. I can do 1 of each of the other classes. 1 point defense, just in case they have missiles, and 1 large energy and 1 medium kinetic. So yeah, we'll do 2 hangars, 2 missiles, 1 point defense, and then 1 medium and 1 large, and that'll be our 7 platforms. And 7 platforms at about $250 a piece. That's going to be just under 2,000. That's going to be about 1,750 or so alloys we're going to need to have banked up. So we're going to be working on defense platforms for a while. I think I may interrupt the defense platforms to finish filling out this fleet when I get that stronghold built. Because the fleet is more mobile than a defense platform, and it's more efficient because they are much cheaper than the defense platforms.
Anomaly found.
Strange readings. This planet emits strange magnetic waves, unlike anything we have seen so far, almost as if it's trying to communicate with us. It is only logical to investigate this unusual phenomenon. We may have just encountered an extraordinary example of life on a planetary scale. That is a level 6 anomaly? 7. How close are you to level 4? Need about 140 more experience. So we will pass this one up for now, because that's 2 years I would have to invest in this. I can knock about a year off of it. Now, of course, I'll probably spend close to a year in travel time doing all of that travel, but I got to come back. If I go down this way and want to come back over here, I've got to come back close to it anyway, so it'll probably only add 2 months to coming back to research this. So we will leave that one be for now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and resettle this clerk over to Flaxington. Only cost me 50 energy credits to resettle my slaves, as opposed to close to 250 to resettle my... Well, that's because they're specialists. My minor humans, yeah, they're a little bit of unity and twice as much to move compared to slaves. So we'll shift him over to be a minor. Now Flaxington can start growing these, alternating between it and humans, possibly. And yes, they are... Well, they're only 0.4 better here on Flaxington. Oh, they have 80% habitability on this continental world because we have adaptable, not 90%. Yeah, they have 90% here because of colonial spirit. So they still are only a slight improvement right now. But that will change when we get the culture shock done here on Doran. Because if we make these the chattel slaves, they have industrious. So they will get a lot better, and they are also continental world preference.
Anomaly found.
Something smells. Scans indicate the presence of a foreign alien-made object on one of Organis 5A's many frozen mountaintops. We'll go ahead and research that one. So far, this is looking like a promising system to claim. It will bolster our economy a little bit without too much investment other than minerals. But again, right now I want to focus on developing my colonies until I have sufficient mineral
Construction complete
to be able to develop them quite a bit. And every system I claim will bump up my empire size. I would like to get my naval capacity up to full before I really start growing again fast. And I just noticed we have that stronghold completed. Now it pulled out some farmers to do that, but we're about to grow another farmer back, and here they produce 10 food, so we'll just be down a little bit when this guy is grown and then wait for another one to fill out. But we can start reinforcing this fleet again. Now that we have a fleet capacity of 30, or a naval capacity of 30, we can meet our full fleet capacity. And that dropped us back down to low naval capacity usage. Space amoebas. The entities encountered by our fleet some time ago are spaceborne forms of life. Quickly nicknamed Space Amoeba, following a tactician's gross misreading of initial sensor output, the creature is in fact larger than the average human corvette. The creature displays aggressive behavior towards human ships, but further study might be warranted. So we can say Easy Prey gives us 33% damage to them and 1,000 energy credits for every fleet we destroy. Or just say Fascinating Creatures that issues the Space Amoeba study. I think we're actually going to go with Easy Prey, since we will not be able to pacify them, I don't believe, not being xenophiles. So yeah, we will become Space Amoeba Hunters. Getting 1,000 energy credits for taking them out, kind of nice. Well, before we select that, no, we can't see their combat level yet. Let's go ahead and say Easy Prey.
Permanent communications have been established with an alien empire.
Now, what is their capacity? 680? Where's my fleet? Alright, we're going to shift control because we want to come back to doing the patrolling. We're going to take these guys out. Take us a year to get over there. That would allow us, after we finish Reganus, to come back down here and do a little bit of exploration to see where another good choke point is, and if this stuff potentially connects back over here to this guy's systems, we would have to worry about having a starbase, defensive starbase on this side somewhere. And we can go ahead and finish this other first contact. Santiago Vasquez can go make contact with the Alpha Bogies, who will be the Yankee. I think we're going to develop another mining district here on Unity. Or no. We've got a decent amount of available mining jobs. We just need the population for it. I want to save up to get another industrial district so I can boost my alloys and my consumer goods again. And that will also free up some of these mining slots for the better slaves to work. A whiff of something. The CNS Traveler has recovered an elongated metal box from the surface of Reganus 5A. Clusters of small perforations on 5 sides lead Science Officer Cassandra Popovic to believe it is not a container, but some sort of aerosol dispersal device. Initial tests seem to confirm their suspicion, as trace aromas still emanate from the object. A special project has been issued to confirm whether this might be an information-carrying device constructed by some alien race, communicating primarily through the secretion and reception of atmosphere-borne chemical compounds. Smells.
New sitrep.
It'll only take 30 days. We'll go ahead and knock that out.
Special project complete.
The box is indeed a document of sorts. Science Officer Cassandra Popovic admits that they had been hoping for a historical record or some other kind of codex significant to whatever culture left it behind. But they were disappointed. The true nature of the aromatic box seems to be a collection of fairly short narratives which, going by the rapid changes in odor toward the end of each sequence, are intended to surprise or be interpreted as comedic. The techniques used to store and reproduce specific smells is of some interest, but the tales it tells are not. The crew of the CNS Traveler are left with the uncomfortable feeling that they have been unwittingly become intimately familiar with what certain gaseous byproducts of alien digestion smell like. However, Cassandra Popovic is unwilling to speculate as to why the box was dumped on this frozen hellscape of a planet. Oh, she gained a chunk of experience out of that. Yeah, she hit level 4. So now this would take about a year and a half. Yeah, 360 plus 180. That's a year and a half. So I might actually go ahead and research that anomaly before I leave the system, since we did get a chunk of experience. And at most, I would knock another 180 days off of it, gaining another level, and get it down to 2 years. I mean, to 1 year. Actually, I don't even think I'd knock 180 off of it. I think I'd end up only knocking 90 more off of it. Let's see. 1 level above you is plus 90. 2 levels... No, it would be 2 levels above me. It would be plus 6 months. So it would end up being just about a year. Yeah, it would be 300 days. So I would end up knocking 8 months off of it if I gained another level. But I think a year and a half is not too long to spend researching that. Just to get it out of the way so I don't have to come back to the system. Plus, there's no telling what it's going to result in. I mean, it's an otherwise barren world. Alright, we should have enough to start on an industrial district, but I could actually wait 3 more months to get started on one here. There might be other areas where I need a building more importantly. Such as here, we've only got about 3.5 more years before I will end up changing their type from domestic servitude. I need to start getting some development done here. I'd like to switch that agriculture district over to a technician job. So I guess we could actually develop another agriculture district here. That would also give us some spare worker jobs, so that if I build something that pulls people up, or I decide to move one of these guys off-world, I don't run into a deficit on food.
Science Division reports success.
So we get to start on our next tradition. See, domination would reduce clear blocker cost, and overall give me a reduction to empire size from pops, which is your biggest source of empire size. It would give me more edict fund, more housing. Enforcers would provide unity, and we would have an edict that will allow us to boost our worker and slave resource output. Now we do have some slaves now, so that is useful, but let's take a look at unyielding. That will boost our overall defense platform cap, boost our starbase and defense platform's hull points, and our defense armies could produce stuff that would be useful to stave off them possibly attacking us. Supremacy will give us an outright boost to naval capacity. We could get started on a second fleet, boost our army damage, increase our ship build speed, reduce the cost, increase our naval capacity further, fleet command limit, orbital bombardment damage and fire rate, and damage versus star bases. So since we're getting ready to go attack these guys, I think supremacy is going to be the way to go. The future of this galaxy belongs to those who are strong enough to seize it. So we will get a boost to naval capacity and army damage right off the bat. So we can get up to 52, which is about 2/3 of our naval coverage. We got adaptive bureaucracy for more edict fund. The progress we make calls for a new, nimbler form of administration that may aid rather than hinder us in our pursuits. Alright, we have 4 toxic kelp blockers. You know, I probably should have gone ahead and unlocked domination to reduce blocker cost. We have 4 toxic kelp blockers. I don't think we're right at the cap yet, though. Let's see. We have neural implant access, which gives us access to the slave army. I believe they are cheaper. And they end up doing more damage, but they have less morale. The slave processing facility, which will boost the slave pop resource output. Yeah, I think we will go for the neural implant since we do have multiple slaves. Well, let me check first and see. Well, we'll select this, but then we'll check and see what the toxic kelp is blocking. That would only take 5 years, and it'll give us access to the slave army and the slave processing facility. Now let's check our blockers. Two of the toxic kelp are on Dawnlight. They're blocking a mining district and a generator district. Just a one of each. And another one is on Leffingwell. It is blocking an agricultural district. And on Doran, we have a toxic kelp that is blocking a generator district. So if we go back to technology, 61 months for that, 55, it'd be about 5 years either way. The slave processing facility will help our economy when we build one. It takes a building slot but doesn't provide jobs, but it does boost the output of all slaves. Yet we don't have slaves spread around everywhere, but in 5 years we might. But yeah, let's actually go for the blocker. And I think, when do we get our next tradition? About the same time. We will go ahead and unlock domination next for the unlock effect of reducing blocker cost, and then go back to finishing supremacy. Now we could end up running Master's Teachings. It would only bleed over about 6. That's not going to add a lot of time to the tradition, I don't think. This further boosts naval capacity and reduces army upkeep, but we can hold off on that until we're closer to our cap of naval capacity. So I did start construction of another industrial district on Unity. It'll take over a year to get completed.
Recon pass completed.
So yeah, I think we are actually going to research this anomaly. When we complete that, there will probably be debris over here we need to come and research. So this is going to take a year and a half. And I'm still 5 months from getting over here. So it'll be about a year, and then I figure about a year travel time, and then researching the debris. We should get to it before it expires, because I think they give you, it's either 3 or 5 years to research those projects. And we should probably check to see how our spy network is going. We're up to about 19%, or 19 out of 50. It's climbing slowly. About another year, and we could probably start trying to establish sleeper cells. I decided to add another generator district here at Doran, just to make use of some of these servants right now. They can fill in some new technician slots. And I can reinforce this fleet again.
Science Division report success.
We have finished fusion power. Nuclear fusion processes generate a great amount of power for ships, but without many of the risks associated with fission power. Now we can add extra power to our ship so we could upgrade other components. And basic combat roles might be a good one to do. Yes. Now we do have a computing specialist. He was in the process of doing archaeology, but we can put somebody else on that ship. What is the progress we have made so far in the archaeological dig? We're still on Chapter 1. We've only gotten 2 clues so far. We're getting a lot of failures. We have a 30% chance to add no clues. So we are getting up only 2 more clues and we'll have a 10% chance to succeed. Actually, I should probably wait for my reinforcements. So let's wait here. They should be merging with me. It says it'll only take a little over a month to get here. And after we get those reinforcements, further reinforcements would take 4 months to a year. No, there'll be another one here in about 20 days. So the new reinforcement is about, it just says moving. Doesn't tell me how long it'll take to get here. Oh, we can do another reinforcement. And now we have those ships, so our combat power has gone up a little bit. This fight should be a little easier. Now we can actually see these things don't have shields, possibly? No, just armor and hull. This one does have strike craft. Now our point defense is not designed for strike craft, and we only have a few point defense ships in here. 5 of them. No. What was I thinking? Most of our thing is point defense, so we might be able to shoot down some of the strike craft, but we aren't really set up with flak, so some of that strike craft is going to hurt. But these things have no shields, so lasers would be more effective against them. And I believe their attacks do less damage to shields. We'll see. Actually, their strike craft bypassed the shields.
Fleet action underway.
We'll just have to see what is most effective of theirs. Ignorance is contagious. The inhabitants of Ofang 4 have begun to theorize that their world was gifted to them by an ineffable being, and that life is a reward for unyielding devotion to a divine creator. They may be in for a surprise when the time comes for them to meet the wider galactic community. Let's educate them in the sciences. Alright, their attacks were 100% effective against our shields. But they never got through our shields. So we never ended up taking any real damage. That must mean we took out all of their strike craft with our point defense. That worked out pretty efficiently. We did decent damage to their armor. The Sentinel point defense was more effective than the small mass drivers. And of course, everything was equally effective against that. So we took them out without losing any ships or really taking any damage. So now this should be going back to... Oh, I canceled their patrol. Crap. I wasn't even thinking when I told him to pause. So we've got to go back here and get back on patrol. Now we have 5 years to get over here. So we should be able to finish this research. We've already knocked out a third of it. So it'll take a little over a year, and then about a year to get down here, and then we should have plenty of time to do that debris. And we also gained 1,000 energy credits for defeating that fleet. Our spy master, watching over the Uthibul and allied clans, reports the surprise successful acquisition of a new asset. A sympathetic contact who will be of service to our operations as and when we need them. All efforts have been taken to ensure that this new contact is genuine. Protocols have been established which seek to minimize the risk of potential double agents, for example. A surprise catch. Well, let's just check that out. We got a bureaucrat who is subterfuge and government, which is exactly what you need for prepare sleeper cells. So when we get up to prepare sleeper cells, this bureaucrat will be extremely effective against that. And it is also useful for acquiring assets, gathering information, stealing technology. A disgruntled bureaucrat that has been lured into our service through false promises of a better life. Tarush. I think it's time we added some more administrative offices so we can get our traditions a little faster. So yeah, after we finish this, we are going to go research the projects in that system and then survey the system. Made first contact with aliens in the Deneb system. We are calling them Hotel Bogies. I'm not sure who it is who just contacted us, but it's probably going to end up being... It's not another empire I can see ships of, so that will most likely be another enclave that we have gotten in range of or something. Something from here, most likely. I think I will pull the one who's doing the alpha bogies out and get this one knocked out first. It looks like it's low difficulty. At least see what they are. Backfired. Revealing ourselves to the would-be spiritual leaders on Ofang 4, we assured them that their so-called divine creator does not exist. The answers they seek can only be found through science. Unfortunately, our lessons have been ignored. The people now look to us as gods, vowing to worship us for all time. Our mission has backfired. This could have gone better. They're going to be fanatical spiritualists, and their awareness has shifted up. You know, they're going to worship us as gods. You think that backfired? I don't think so. Let's go down there and build a few pyramids and get them to start giving us stuff. We've picked up readings of unknown nature. The signals seem to follow some kind of repeating syntax, which could indicate sapient origin. Should be investigated further. They seem to be concentrated around a single space station. Yeah, it's another enclave. We'll go ahead and finish first contact with them and then go back to the alpha bogies. I think I'm going to go straight into another industrial district here on Unity. Really boost my consumer goods and... Actually, wait. I really am not going to need my consumer goods quite so high just now. It's more my alloys I'm going to need. So maybe I build a city district next to give me another building slot so I can do an alloy foundry. Now that we have 2 on this planet, I'm actually going to move this farmer off. Well, he's providing more food. Maybe I should have them working the farms to get me out of the deficit. Yeah, let's move the miner off, actually, over to here, so this planet can start growing them. To start replacing the miner jobs down here. And I actually, it looks like I do need to start construction of another mining district, since I just filled up that slot by shifting someone over here, and in about 6 months that entertainer slot is going to be full. How fliffier warriors sighted. For several months now, we have received scattered reports of small number of alien mercenaries and privateers operating on the frontiers of our space. They call themselves Halflifiers, and are apparently the exiles from a nomadic warrior culture inhabiting overcrowded space stations in and around the focal system. Their passage near our space proceeded without incident, but they warned us against trespassing in focal. There is no Halflifier central government to speak of, but their various factions are engaged in constant infighting and often launch raids against neighboring star systems. Indeed, given their vast population and space-based production capability, the Halflifiers would likely be a significant galactic power if they ever stopped killing each other. The Halflifian Marauders. We are the Halflifiers, and we are the favored servants of She of the Void, the all-seeing, ever-knowing, and above all, vengeful supreme being that lords over space. It was she that bade us to give up our ancestral planetary home aeons ago, to take up residence in her eternal domain, the cold depths of space, so that we could hunt unbelievers and appease her through sacrifice. Alas, the doctrinal wars have sapped our strength, and we are now a divided people, struggling to divine the true path she would have us walk. Yet her favor can be won through the destruction of alien heretics, even at the behest of other heretics. Thus many of our warriors are willing to fight your battles for a price. Where did I encounter them? Okay, so I made contact with them probably through my espionage. I got the contact with them. Either that or these guys, well, we're not rivals yet, so they can't send them to raid me. But that does mean I need to save up some energy credits, because as soon as rivalry is declared between us, I need to contact them and have them raid them so they don't get sent my way. Barren grounds and vibrant skies. Once down on the surface of Kondra 2, it was clear that a civilization had indeed flourished here until as recently as a few centuries ago. At some point, a sudden and total catastrophic event gripped the world. Apparently some sort of internecine struggle between nation-states led to a terminal exchange of weapons of mass destruction. Oddly, although the surface is scoured clean and dead, the sky is alive with the shifting hues of a perpetual aurora borealis. It's a striking vista, the desolate steel and stone carcasses of entire cities, painted by the vibrant, scintillating colors dancing in the sky. It's about time we made a breakthrough. Alright, we can resume our patrol now. Let's see how much piracy has gone up since we have been gone. Well, we've already dumped this down to 0. Yeah, it hadn't even gotten up to 1. As soon as we get into NAB, we should suppress that. Alright, our final reinforcement is being constructed for Strike Force Medusa. Next, we will start working on our other Strike Force. We can get up to about 22 with them before we need another stronghold to cap them out. In about 7 months, I will have another population here on this world, which would reduce my housing probably down to 0. So it's time to start on another mining district. Actually, never mind. We could wait until those 7 months happen and upgrade to a planetary admin. Because in 7 months we will definitely have the 600. Singing Planet. What we first assumed to be a deliberate attempt at communication has turned out to be an unusual but naturally occurring phenomenon. The magnetic waves produced by the planet, given proper handling and editing, may sound a bit like talking or even singing, but they are in no way created by a thinking being. Some of our scientists, however, find it quite catchy. It might be possible to make use of this phenomenon, possibly by hosting artists or VIPs at a station created solely to catch these signals and play them as relaxing music. So that added unity there. So yeah, this system would be worth coming to visit. Now, it will take us 415 days to get there. We'll still have 1,000 days left, over 1,000 days left before that expires. So yeah, we'll head down here and start surveying this way. So now this fleet will be at full strength. We're going to be starting on this fleet as soon as we get a little bit more alloys.
Science Division reports success.
We have completed powered exoskeletons. Wearing a powered exoskeleton suit augments the user's strength and speed. The military applications are obvious, but it will also increase labor efficiency. We could get started on robots, but we have slaves, so this isn't a priority because it'll take a long time to build robots. I mean, it will double the speed at which our populations can grow on our planets, but they're growing fast enough right now, honestly. But that would also allow us, when we have robots, to have somebody who does good resources on a world we don't have habitability. But I plan on going the terraforming route. So I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to need robots. They do have an energy credit upkeep, and alloys are needed to produce. I have a better use for my alloys right now. So I think we'll actually focus on upgrading our armor. Because with the engine upgrades, the basic combat rolls we're going to get, and the armor, we would be able to do a round of ship upgrades. This would take about 9 years. And we do not have anybody better to stick in here. Of course, if we get any stored research, we can get it a little bit faster. It's probably about time to add another research facility. We do have society research bonus here. So when this upgrades and gets an additional building slot, we'll be adding a research facility here, I believe. Now that little 5% may do a little bit of bonus to our 3 primary resources here when the month rolls over. Small amount, a couple of points here and there. And I think I'm going to relocate this guy down to here. And we can start on our first ship for the next fleet. And after it is built, we'll probably have to relocate it to safe station and see if we can get this to be the one to generate the ships. That way we will have one on the border at least. Actually, no, we need to set up a patrol route in these 2 systems probably. Right now there probably won't be any piracy worth patrolling. Yeah, it's very small effect. but that would be another area where an admiral can be gaining experience. I'm going to go ahead and start building a holo theater here. They're only going to have stellar culture shock for a little over another year, so it would be a good idea to have that in position for when these servants are no longer available, as I am going to switch these guys to chattel slavery, and then I will probably end up start shifting them around to some of these other sites. That'll free up a lot of humans that we can, so we also need to have some jobs available by then. I need to have about 14 jobs available when I get ready to switch them so that I have places to stick humans. So I might build an industrial district here and here, as well as some alloy plants here as well. I really need to beef up my alloy production since I'm trying to churn out ships and defense platforms soon. And that does remind me, though, I just noticed I'm about halfway capped on influence. I should probably check my spy network. Nope, still not high enough to infiltrate. It'll take a while to get to at least 30. So it'll probably be another couple years before I could start on a sleeper cell. After successfully translating their language, we have established communications with the independent space station of the Curator Order.
Permanent communications have been established with an alien empire.
Greetings, Star Travelers. We are the Curators. Our ancient order was established aeons ago by the various galactic powers in ascendancy at the time. We were dedicated towards the preservation of all knowledge in an effort to safeguard the galaxy from descending into yet another dark age of mass extinctions and barbarism. We failed. Few of us remain today, but we are no less committed to our sacred mission than our predecessors were. We are willing to share some of our knowledge with you for a price. Let's contact that Curator Order. That's the Covenant of the Shroud way over there. So we probably ran into one of their areas somewhere around here. There's where the Marauders are. The Curators, this is their home system. No, that's more Covenant of the Shroud. Where the hell are the Curators? Well, let's just contact them here. Knowledge in the wrong gripping appendages can be dangerous. But what can we do? We need energy to keep the lights on. Can you aid us in our research? Of course, we are prepared to offer you limited access to our extensive databanks for a period of 10 standard years. This should provide a significant boost to the research efforts of your planet-side research labs. But we will require compensation for this service naturally, but I think you'll find that our prices are very reasonable. Alright, I need 2,000 energy credits to do it, and I'd like to start it on a January 1st anyway somewhere, but that's mainly what I wanted to do, was see how much I needed. So we finished that first contact. We can go back to finishing this one. And then we will have an available envoy in case we encounter somebody else. Long-range scanners have picked up readings in the south system that could be best described as giant heat blobs. It's worth investigating. Alright, Strike Force Gorgon is available. Let's send it to its home system. Or no, we're sending it there. We need to assign a leader. We have an Eager, a Fleet Logistician, and a Gale Speed. Well, the youngest is actually the Logistician. The oldest is the one with Gale Speed. But I think we will get the one with Gale Speed. I do really like that. The leader believes that speed and rapid maneuvers are the keys to success in any space engagement. I tend to agree. So we won't have the minerals to upgrade this next month. Yeah, we didn't even get the minerals to upgrade it in 3 months. I could buy 100 minerals and start the upgrade, and I think I will. Because we're going to need more minerals fairly soon to start on an alloy forge. No real rush on it. It can wait a little bit. But at least we can get started on a planetary admin here, because it will take a year and 4 months. I think we've got enough humans on this world right now. Let's go specify this one. Now that does slow down the growth rate by 10% by prioritizing the species. But we have a growth bonus here for the pop growth speed from the lesser evil, which kind of is going to outbalance it. And I don't mind slowing down the growth when I can't keep the buildings up fast enough. I think I am going to go ahead and embark my armies and relocate them over here to Doltari. We finally set up our patrol for this new fleet, as well as probably kick in a few more reinforcements, at least one. Now we're going to need 400 to add an alloy foundry. And I could probably stand to throw some autochthon monuments on some of these others. That will add a little bit of naval capacity. 2 of these would be equivalent to another stronghold. That'll add a little bit of naval capacity, a little bit of happiness, and some unity production. Let's go ahead and check on our spy network. Almost there. Though I would like a little surplus in case I get a pop-up event that I would be forced to reduce the infiltration level by 10 for it to continue. Finally! The spaceborne lifeforms, which the human head of society research has come to refer to as T'Yanki, are docile creatures, capable of accessing some lower dimensions of subspace. They roam from system to system with remarkable ease. They graze on gases common to the upper layers of many gas giants. It is highly unlikely, to say the least, that this is their only food source, but intake of other nutrients has yet to be observed. They will rarely, if ever, attack, even when provoked. They can be safely ignored.
Permanent communications have been established with an alien empire.
Alright, let's go ahead and start building a spy network with the one that's next to us. We're getting close to our cap on influence. We're only gaining 3. It's just all of these first contacts have been popping it up. We're going to need something to pop up that's going to require influence. We'll probably start doing some espionage pretty soon. I mean, I could expand, but I'd like to get my fleets built up first. Well, we finally made it to the debris. Still 1,000 days left. I think we're actually going to build the alloy foundry here in Leffingwell first. I can always shift some humans over to work the jobs, because I do have other planets where there are getting to be surplus humans.
Battle debris secured.
So we've got regenerative hull tissue, the amoeba breeding program, and a little bit of society research out of that. Almost enough to push our blockers up. We'll get them in about 2 years, but we'll probably run out of stored research before then. Yeah, we're going to run out of stored research in 1 month. So it'll be about 52 months before we get this. So a little under 5 years still before we get a further tech increase. That one's 7. That one's 6. So in about 7 years, we'll be ready to upgrade our ships. And in a little over a year, we should be able to unlock domination so we can start clearing blockers on some of these worlds. And that's another reason I'd like to start getting a few more bureaucrats or autochthon monuments so I can start getting some unity a little more, since I'm going to have a slight delay on finishing my next tree because I do want to jump over and open another one. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead. Let's check this real quick. Yeah, the stellar culture shock is affecting all residents, not just the slaves that have it. It's about to expire, though. So we'll go ahead and get started on another administrative office here. Well, let's see. It's going to require 4 consumer goods. I think we're actually going to need an industrial zone before that. So we should probably wait 3 more months and get another industrial zone built somewhere. I actually have 2 spare humans here, and this will be for civilian industries. I can actually switch this world over from generator to be a factory world and start building districts here as soon as I don't even have to wait. I can go ahead and spend 100 to start it now. So we'll switch from generator world to factory world. Let's see, 41.43 as opposed to... Yeah, we're losing about 9 energy. That's about half of our current surplus. I can deal with that. And get started on an industrial district. It'll take a little over a year. And that should pull up these 2 clerks. So we will have surplus consumer goods for when we build our next building, which is going to end up being like more administrative offices here, so we can get even more unity. But that should have gotten rid of the stellar culture shock here. We could actually go ahead and change these guys around, because we do have the holo theaters finally built here. So let us change their rights to chattel slavery. Because these guys will be really effective at minerals. So we need to shuffle them around and resettle some to about every planet. Actually, we should probably change this one to be Doron. Alright, so Unity is going to need at least 1. Flaxington will need at least 1. Dawnlight will need at least 1. St. Natchbull, they'll have bad habitability on, I believe. But they'll have good habitability on Leffingwell, although this place has no mining. So let's actually, we still have 11 that are unemployed right now. Let's go ahead and transfer 5 more to Unity. Alright, now we have an unemployed human. We're about to have another unemployed human in 5 months. We can build a building eventually, but we've got the miners fully kitted up here. This place is going to need about 7 more. We've got 6. Alright, so we have gotten rid of all the unemployed ones there, at least. But now we have some unemployed humans. Now I can shift this oxen litter back to the agri world. Now what has available jobs? 2 available jobs on Doran. They're probably farmer jobs. Oh no, they're entertainer jobs. There we go. There. Now this place is fully kitted out. We've got all the miners there. We've got room for 1 more miner here. And let's actually switch what species we're growing to get the one that's the better miner. And I guess we can go ahead and open up the 2 gas plant engineers just to employ those humans. And we do have room for miners here. Let's switch which species we're growing. Now, do we have any unemployed? We still have an unemployed person on Unity. We have an available job on Dawnlight. And on Leffingwell. What available jobs do we have on Leffingwell? Clerks. So let's send this human over to be a clerk or a soldier. Either one works. So now we at least don't have unemployment, but we definitely will have more mineral output. These guys provide a full point more than the oxenolitters did. Yeah, because this one provides 6.4, they provide, well, 6.7. So not a full point, but these guys are 0.4 more than humans. These guys are 0.3 more than them, so it's almost a full point over human. 6.8 versus 7.1 versus 6.4, yeah. So these guys are going to be more effective miners. That's mainly because of habitability that these guys provide, the Faurine provide more energy than humans do here. Because yeah, they're having a 15% penalty. So they're getting 6.15. And these guys are 705. So yeah, it would just be about 15% penalty is what's making them not as effective on the tropical world. In about 4 years, we can switch the oxenatoliters over to battle thralls. So they will have less happiness penalty. They'll still do 5% more resources than humans do, but they will also do better army damage, so they will fill in the soldier jobs mainly and can fill in the others and still have a little bit of a bonus because of being very strong. And especially once I get slave places built, they'll get an additional output for being slaves. But yeah, that'll be in about 4 years. We can switch them over. And then they'll work all the soldier jobs. I wonder if they can also be enforcers. I wonder if that's what it means, specialist soldiers, that they can actually fill in the enforcer slots. when we run into worlds that don't have available jobs anymore, we're starting to get overcrowding, we can start shifting around some of the Farine over, because they will at least provide amenities as servants. So we can start shifting them to other worlds to grow. So we can just get a whole bunch of servants, basically. They can also work as clerks. But now we need to start getting some specialist jobs to start moving the humans away from the worker jobs and let the slaves breed to become our workers. The Tianki are back. They're a 13 fleet strength. I could actually go wipe them out. You do get some resources for fighting them. So I could hunt them. But right now, I don't really need to. These guys are really good at sapping shields. And they have some fairly large hull and armor points, so I would probably lose some ships fighting them. Yeah, they're bad against armor, so it would probably be better to wait until I have upgraded my armor to start thinning out to Yankee. Or hunting to Yankee, or when I really need the resources. Okay, their awareness level has decreased to low awareness. Now we've got a decent output of food now. While this won't add jobs, I can start shifting away the food jobs here on Unity over to mining, so that I can really boost my mineral output. Actually, I should probably shift the technician jobs first, because I could shift all of these. Although I would prefer to wait until I could do an alloy foundry here first. I can build one more district here and then shift those 4 over when I get rid of the blockers. Or I could just go ahead and build the mining districts and shift those over to industrial districts. And we'll go ahead and wait 3 more months. Our detailed survey of Coldax 3 has revealed it is another toxic terraforming candidate. That makes 2, I believe, we have found. Insight breakthrough imminent. We have gathered enough information to create a new insight technology to explore further. The next time we have an observation event that would advance our insight, we will gain a new research option. Alright, so we can get started on a alloy foundry here on Unity. We have a little bit of overcrowding here, so we are going to need some more housing, but we're about to get it with the Planetary Administration. We're running low on housing here, but as soon as another pop is grown, we will be able to upgrade to a Planetary Admin. No, we don't need to grow more of them here. We will actually manually tell it to grow these guys, because they can replace the farming and technician jobs for now. And it has been another 5 years. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.